This one pitch mistake is costing you very big and you're losing out on cash every single month by making this mistake repeatedly. And because of which your calendar is completely full of calls, but your calls is not getting converted and your bank account is still kind of empty. So in this video, I'm going to exactly break down why the old method of pitching is dead and why it does not convert clients anymore in the marketplace, and what is exactly working right now in today's market. In this video, I'll break down my converting pitch mechanism, which is exactly what I install in my clients' businesses who are top 1% coaches of India and consultants, right? So that is what you will learn. So stick till the end. I'll break down this into 3 different steps, which is my converting pitch mechanism. So you can just copy and paste it in your business and start getting and closing high ticket deals, which are worth 2 lakh, 4 lakhs, 5 lakh, 10 lakhs, even more, right? So let's get into the video. Why the old pitch method is dead. Why it is dead is because most coaches currently in the marketplace are still doing 1 hour long pitches. Now you can be that person who is watching this video. Maybe your sales rep are just going on calls and ranting for an hour, right? You are doing information dump on your prospects, telling them everything about how you can help them, everything about your service, everything about what you do, right? And basically you are selling features and using PowerPoint presentations. Now if you're doing any one of these 4 things, it is completely outdated and dead, and that is why you're losing out on a lot of money. What happens after this is the prospect, number 1, starts comparing you with 10 other competitors who are out there, right? They basically, price becomes the deciding factor. They see your price, they compare it with your competitor's price, and then they start negotiating with you. And price becomes the major deciding factor. And lastly, you become a commodity as a business owner. Why? Because you can so easily be compared with other service provider providing the same service. Now, what has happened, what has shifted is when the information market started out, the coaching, consulting business started out overall, started booming. The way that people were selling was this kind of selling, right? It used to work back in 2015. But nowadays, the prospects, the era today is post-trust era, right? People are more aware. Everybody knows what online coaching is. Every prospect that you are targeting has been on many sales calls before. So they already know that this is a sales call. And if you position yourself as a salesperson and start doing all these things, then of course they are going to just see you as another person in the marketplace and start commoditizing you, comparing you, etc., etc. And that's why your sales conversions would take a dip. Now, if you want to increase your conversions at a higher ticket price, this is exactly what you need to do. You need to start using the new way, which is the converting pitch mechanism, which I personally use. Now, before I tell you what the converting pitch mechanism is, let me tell you the elements of the converting pitch mechanism and why it works and how you can implement these things in your pitch right now. Number 1 thing, your pitch should not be 1 hour long. That's the most common mistake people make. Your pitch shouldn't be 30 minutes long. It should be maximum 10 to 15 minutes long, maximum. You are never going to use PowerPoint presentations. I have never used PowerPoint presentations, and I've closed deals worth 2 lakhs, 4 lakhs, even 6 lakhs in India, right? So never use a PowerPoint presentation. I have never done a pitch more than 15-20 minutes long in worst case. Information dump is a big no-no, and stop selling features. So do everything opposite of what you are actually doing. That is exactly what works nowadays in the marketplace. Now let's come to the elements. Why does this actually work? This conversion mechanism that I'm going to teach you, converting pitch mechanism, why it works is because of 4 different things. Number 1 is unique mechanism, in which you are going to basically tell the prospect why they should select you and why what you are giving them as a service is different. Now you need to have your own unique mechanism. To give you a very simple example, I am teaching you my converting pitch mechanism. So there are 2 ways I could have presented this, right? Number 1 way could be like, hey, I can just teach you how to pitch better and close better deals and increase your conversion rate to 30% on calls. That is one way of presenting this. Another way, which I basically took, is using my unique mechanism. I'll install my converting pitch mechanism in your business so that you and your closers can start implementing it and start improving your closing rate to 30 to 40% from cold traffic in India. Now that is a way more compelling manner to put it, right? That is why you need to use unique mechanisms while you are pitching, while you are making the pitch on the call. That is very important. What this allows you to do is couple of things. Number one, in your prospect's mind, now you are different. Why? Because you cannot go and Google and do some research on this converting pitch mechanism. This is something that I have created. So you didn't find any information on the internet about this, number one. This makes you unique in their mind, that this guy has something different that he is using and it's working out. So they cannot compare you with your competitors now. Number two, this is not a fancy name, right? It's not just a fancy name. This is basically a logical thesis that I have built. There are 3 to 4 steps that you will follow in this converting pitch mechanism, which will allow you to get the result that this promises. So that is why this actually works. And in this marketplace, if you want to actually start selling some better results, right, some better services, you need to have your own unique mechanism. You need to give it a proper name and create a proper unique mechanism for your business. That's the first element that we have in our pitch, right? Number two is a bold, specific promise. Now there are 2 kinds of offer. Number one is called a hard offer. Number two is called a soft offer. Now soft offers are basically offers which do not have any concrete result. They're not promising any concrete result. It can be like, hey, I will help you to lose your weight and keep you accountable for the next 6 weeks by coming on one-on-one calls with you. That is one way of presenting an offer. That's a soft offer. Whereas what we use in our pitch is a hard offer, where we make bold, specific promise and give them the result plus timeline as well. Hey person, I know that you are at 70 kgs right now. In the next 6 weeks, I will help you to lose an additional 5 kgs without relying on fancy diets or fat diets by doing home workouts only. Now that is called a hard offer. Why? Because it was a bold, specific promise which is losing 5 kgs in the next 6 weeks, and the result would be like without doing fat diets and all that jazz, right? So you need to have this kind of an offer for your business as well. Why? Because gone are the days where you could have just depended on salesperson and hire the best salesperson and he will go on the call and sell for you. Does not happen now. Now the entire game is having the best offer and plus the best salesperson in the industry in order to be the best in the marketplace. So if you are lacking a good offer, then expect that your conversion rates are going to be low. Why? Because your competitors are providing better offers to your clients. That is why. The third element why this works is a logical bridge. Basically what we are doing is creating a path for them from chaos to clarity. Or basically what we can put it into is, currently they are at their current scenario, which is their undesired state, and they want to go to their desired state, right? So what we are doing overall over here is we are creating a bridge and dividing this bridge into logical pillars, which is step 1 is this is what we'll do, step 2 is this is what we'll do, step 3 is this is what we'll do, and step 4 is this, and then you'll reach your desired state. Once you break your entire process down into logical steps, that is when the client can actually understand what the hell is happening, and that is why they get convinced and get ready to buy based on logic, clarity, and a clear outcome. This is why the third element of the new way of pitching, which is my converting pitch mechanism. And lastly, what we do is we use future pacing to make them visualize their future. So not just are we going to tell them, oh, this is what we'll do XYZ things. Oh, I'll help you to improve your sales conversion by 20% more in the next 1 month. Not just that, we'll actually help them to visualize what happens after they get a result. So hey, Mr. Prospect, you remember you mentioned that a lot of your time is going to, train your sales team right now. Almost 2 hours every single day, and still you are at a 10% conversion rate. Guess what? I'll install my converting pitch mechanism into your business and help you to improve your conversion rates to 25 to 30% at least with the same closers, while helping you to become, building a founder free business. Why? Because I would be taking care of your sales team training on a regular basis, and that will allow you to have more time to chill and focus on the parts of business that actually require your attention. Does that sound good to you? That is how I help them to future pace and make them visualize the future as well. Now these are the 4 elements that we use in order to make a converting pitch using my mechanism. Now let's come to how you can actually implement this into your business. Number one, what we sell over here is clarity, logic, and differentiation over features, which I have already explained over here, right? So in terms of the converting pitch mechanism, it is basically a 3-step process. The very first step is something known as the high level promise. In the high level promise, what we are telling the prospect is the hard offer, a clear outcome, and the time frame. For example, if I talk about my business, or let's say some other business, I'll give you an example of this. Using the 4-step mechanism or using my 5-phase TLS method, I will help you to go from being stuck at 10 lakh rupees per month, doing it inconsistently in revenue, to scaling your business to 50 lakhs per month, and without being, without having founder dependency, by having a sales team that runs on automation. Now, that is a high level promise for my business. This is what you need to create for your business as well, right? Create a high level promise firstly. Once that is done, then we move on to the bridge, which is the pillars. Now, what is the pillars? Pillars are basically what I explained over here, 3 to 5 logical steps that creates an aha moment in your prospect's mind. So you need to basically make sure that whenever you're explaining your pillars, it gives them like a light bulb moment in their mind. It is like, oh, I never thought about this. And that is when the prospect actually views you as an expert and differentiates that, oh, nobody actually helped me to realize this ever before on a sales call, but this person is different. So that is what you need to do in the pillars. And last part is the delivery. Once you have told them about your promise, which is the hard offer, secondly, the how you will help them to get there, lastly is the part of delivery. How exactly will you deliver it without overwhelming them? What would be the delivery mechanism? Would it be one-on-one calls, group coaching, community access? What would you require from them? All that jazz. So this is how I basically divide my pitch into 3 different aspects. Now after this, there are more aspects which I haven't mentioned, but I will give you that as a bonus overall. But firstly, let's dive deep into these 3 things, right? Number 1 is the high level pitch. After you are done with your probing part and you're starting to go into the pitch, right? This is how you should basically do it. Now, based on everything that you have shared with me, Mr. Prospect, I feel whatever we have going on over here is definitely a good fit for you. Why? Because you remember how you mentioned that you are completely stressed right now, taking 3 to 4 calls per day, plus handling your entire sales team and training them, plus handling your fulfillment and hiring and firing and other things as well. Because of which you have to work 12 hours a day and you feel that you are stuck in a loop since the past 6 months and you're not able to scale. Guess what? That is exactly what I help our clients to basically achieve. What we do is we install our 5-phase TLS method so that you as a founder can break free of this vicious cycle that you are stuck in and finally scale your business to 20-30 lakhs per month. For doing that, I have a simple 5-step process which is going to help you to go from 10 lakhs right now, your current situation, to 50 lakhs per month, scale your business to 50 lakhs per month without actually getting more burden from the sales side. That is my high level promise. That is how you actually do it, right? Now, Mr. Prospect, now we'll move on to basically the bridge part, which is the pillars. So, Mr. Prospect, let me break it down for you. The 5 steps, what are the 5 steps going to look like, right? So if you have a notebook or something to take notes with, just divide it into 5 different columns. In the first column, write down your pillar number 1, which is going to be your pre-sales optimization. In the second column, write down your pillar 2, which is on-call mastery. In the pillar 3, the column 3, write down the pillar number 3 that we are going to work on, and it would be your post-management operations basically. Number 4 is going to be data management, and number 5 is going to be your sales infrastructure. Done? Perfect. Now routing back to the first pillar, and then you go into the explanation of the pillars. That is how you deliver a proper pitch. Now, even in the explanation of the pillars, I'll give you the exact syntax that I use, right? What do I exactly use for the pillars? The breakdown of the pillars is this syntax. Let me break it down for you. Number 1, you always start with what they earlier mentioned on the call so that you can make the pillar more relatable. For example, hey Mr. Prospect, you remember earlier on the call you mentioned that you are taking 3 to 5 sales calls per day, but still you are not getting any conversions. So that is how I start, by reminding them what they basically told me on the call. This allows them to connect the dots, that this guy was actually listening to me and now they are giving a particular solution for my specific challenge. So reminded them about their challenge, the first step. After that, what I do is I tell them why they are stuck where they are stuck. What's the reason why they are stuck exactly where they are stuck? Number 3, what I do is I tell them and I exactly show them what am I going to do. What am I going to do? Then I also show them why what I am going to do is different from whatever they have tried before. Maybe they have tried working with some other agencies, so I show them why this is different than others. And lastly, what I show them is the benefit of implementing this pillar number 1 in their business. And eventually, to conclude this, I end with the benefit of the benefit. Now I'm sure you're pretty much confused, so let me explain this. If you use this, like literally I'm giving you the entire sauce. This is what I implement in my client's business, right? So if you are hardworking, you can implement this pretty much. How would the pillar actually sound like? Let me give you an example. Hey, Mr. Prospect, you remember earlier on the call you mentioned that you're taking like almost 30 calls a month, but still you are just closing 3 out of them at a lower ticket size or a mid ticket size, right? And your conversion rate is just 10% right now. Do you know why that is happening? That is happening because you do not have a proper sales process right now, a proper sales framework which is repeatable and proven, which you can follow in every call. And hence you are losing out like a lot of money on the table every single month, which is causing that stress and anxiety as you mentioned earlier. So what I'm going to do over here is install my predict selling method in your business, in which I'm going to exactly show you how to conduct the sales call, ask the right questions at the right time, so that your prospects can convince themselves of why you are the best person to work with. Now, the major part is most sales framework out there focus majority times on the objection handling and following a script. But in predict selling method, I've personally taken more than 4,000 calls. And what I've realized overall is there are total 9 psychological triggers that you need to basically trigger by having a sales conversation. So this is not going to be any sales script that you have to memorize like a robot. This is going to be a framework in which there are 9 beliefs that you need to overall cover on the call in any fashion and manner that you want to. You do not have to be robotic with it. And while covering those 9 beliefs, you would be able to instill such doubts in the prospect's mind that they would be able to convert without any objections on the same call. And the benefit of this would be, now with the same 30 calls that you are taking, you would be able to close 9 deals at a 30% conversion rate, which means you don't have to spend more money on advertisements. You have more money in your pocket, more profits for your business. And while taking the same amount of calls, you have significantly, like almost 3x your entire business revenue. That is how basically you deliver the pillar, right? Hope this entirely makes sense to you. So that is how you have to build 3 to 5 logical pillars for your business. And the last step would be the delivery. Now, after I'm done with the entire, that process, then I go to the delivery part. Hey, now Mr. Prospect, now you know the entire process of what we are going to do. Now let's talk about how I'm going to specifically help you to implement this. For implementation, I have 3 simple steps. Number 1, I'll create your WhatsApp group with me specifically so that we are always in touch. You have any problems, you can directly come and ask me. Number 2, we would be meeting thrice every week for training sessions where I will personally come and teach you sales training. Nobody from my team, but me directly, so that I can ensure that you get the results that you're looking for. And number 3, all my systems, data systems, sales frameworks, everything would be customized and plugged into your business so that with just, one click, you can actually get the entire thing installed into your business. That is how I help you to go from where you are at to where you want to be. Does that make sense? That is how you do the deliverables. So the entire point of this is keeping the entire pitch as crisp as possible, as short as possible, clear, concise, logical, and relatable, most importantly, for the prospect. Once you make a pitch of this sort, that is when the conversion actually happens. Now, I did mention that after these 3 things, there are other things as well which I do. So as a bonus, because you watched the video so far, so the bonus point over here which I do afterwards is, after the delivery, I basically take a temperature check, which is step number 4. And number 5 is I drop the investment. That's it. Simple. So 4 and 5 step is, number 1 is temperature check. Before dropping the investment now, I want to make sure that the prospect is actually aligned and has no confusions, no doubts, no objections. Why? Because after the price drop, I don't want to handle the objections. I want to pre-handle it before the price drop happens, right? So I ask them like, hey, Mr. Prospect, on a scale of let's say 1 to 10, 1 being nah, Shashank, get lost, this is not for me. It was completely useless. And 10 being, this is exactly the process that I was looking for to scale my business. On this scale, like, where are you right now personally, honestly? So they will give you a number. Let's say they say 9. Oh, 9, that's a solid number, Mr. Prospect. If I may ask, why not like a 4 or a 5? Now they will justify why they gave you a 9 and convince themselves why you are the best. And once I get that level of certainty from the prospect, then I move on to the investment, where I tell them like, hey, Mr. Prospect, so you're feeling good about the process, right? Yeah, awesome. And do you have any questions for me before we move forward? No, perfect. Awesome. So how I take my clients forward is in one simple step. After this, you have an investment, right, that you need to take care of. Once you do that, you'll get the proper access to everything and your onboarding will happen directly. Coming to the investment of working with me is 3 lakh rupees for the next 3 months. Boom. And then silence. That is exactly the entire converting pitch mechanism using which you can convert as many clients that you want to. This is what I install in my client's business. Now, if you are a business owner, a coach, or a consultant, and you are, of course, mind blown after watching this, but you want a more custom help and a more personalized help from me and my team directly, right? So what you can do is book a call with me. In the description, you will find a booking basically link. From there, go fill out the form, book a call with me. And again, this is basically for coaches and consultants who are already at least doing 3 to 5 lakhs a month, and you are serious and you have some corpus amount to invest right now in your business. And book a call with me. I'll see how I can help you to scale your business to 20, 30, 40 lakhs a month. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Subscribe the channel. And the next video that I would recommend you to watch is going to be this one. See you.